All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the JD Photo Podcast. So today I have Solfilms, a wedding videographer, Michael. So Michael's been working with me for the last 5 to 6 years as a videographer, usually as a subcontractor. And recently we've been working together as a team in the wedding space, working alongside each other quite often, quite regularly. And he's my primary videographer and he does really incredible things. So today we're going to be chatting all about the wedding industry, videography, photography, how you get into it, the challenges you can face, burnout, what it's like to be self-employed. I'm just going to give Michael the spotlight for a second, mate. You're going to jump in. You're going to say, you know what? I haven't actually heard the story when you first picked up a camera. Do you want to spill that story, mate?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I got into film when I was probably 16. I was an actor for quite a while.
Were you?
Yeah. I was doing little TV commercials and lots of like stage theatre and that sort of thing, musical theatre. So I danced a little bit, but I realised that there wasn't much of a career in acting because I knew that I was completely subservient to someone else wanting to give me a job. Yes. So I was like, okay, well, how do I actually make this work for myself? And I got into media through school and I was like, brilliant.
You did the high school media 3AB or whatever it was back then?
Oh yeah, ATAR now.
Yeah, me too.
But,
yeah. Me too,
yeah, so
that's how I started. Did films and media film and analysis or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Used to do a lot of stuff there and started off videography then. So that's when I started. I was 15, picked up the 60 or 14 and then Final Cut Pro was the software we used back then. And just kind of evolved.
Yeah, I was on Premiere Pro. It's very much the same story. I started shooting little videos for companies and doing weddings, and when I realized I could actually make a career with it. I was doing a lot of singing at the time, so I had a singing teacher through school, and she was trying to get on cruise ships as an entertainer. Yeah, and so I shot her like 5 or 6 music videos, which was overkill. I probably could have just done one, and actually done a good job of it, but. Regardless, it was good for what it was. And she got the job. And she was traveling the world on cruise ships singing. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. She got that because of my video. That's really cool. So, and then from there I went to uni and studied film and moved into the film industry, working as a freelance camera operator and lighting technician for the last 7 years, I guess. And
well, you're a director of photographer. I would say your title is, kind of what you do. Obviously, university graduate. Mark has a lot of experience. You've done a lot. You've been around. You're in the cinema space as well. So you have a diverse range and vast range of skills, I'd say. So definitely.
And it's great being able to take what I've learned from such a high level, high art kind of space into weddings and trying to create something beautiful where you may not have necessarily the crew or the time or the resources to actually be able to make everything 100%, but you have all those skills to look at a scene and make it still feel exactly what you need it to feel.
I never really appreciated how much I actually learned at university for a long time. I think, look, I'm of the opinion that university can be a little bit, how do you say it? I wouldn't say a scam, but more like it forces you to do the bachelor's, which is the 3-year course, even though your course might not need the time. That makes sense. So that's my only hiccup with university was I did about 1 unit a semester, 1 or 2 units that were my core kind of units a semester, and the rest of it was just filled. So realistically, the course could have been taught in 1 year. But the university kind of pushed me to stay there for 3 years. But the bright side of it is I learned a lot. I learned how to be creative and artistic. And I think it does allow you to bring in, because like you said, it comes from a very like high artistic kind of playing field, where everyone's thinking about like the meaning behind stuff, looking into it, the lighting, how you're using lighting strategically.
And I'm just looking at one tiny little thing and you're looking at one tiny little thing. So everyone's a specialist and you're improving things.
That's it.
I think it's good from the networking side of things. Like I've made so many contacts through Murdoch, ECU, Curtin, and it's like fantastic. I have all these people that I can pull on and have worked alongside in the industry going, after that. So, and they've got me jobs, I've gotten their jobs. Like you build that network, that's really, really handy.
It is really handy. I think a few universities, what university did you go to?
Murdoch and ECU for film.
Yeah. So look, I've heard really great stuff about ECU school. A lot of really good photographers have come out of ECU. I think they're very big on the networking kind of space and pushing people to do that. Curtin wasn't so much, I'm going to be honest. Curtin was a little bit heavier on the academia kind of side of things, not so much industry experience. But yeah, I've look, a lot of the people who've come out of the photography ECU school have been, phenomenal, and they've done really great things. So look, there's a lot of benefits to university. Everyone has a different experience, I think. And,
do you need to do it? No,
you don't need to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's my take on it is you look at the cost of it, it's what is it, like $30,000 to $50,000 to complete the degree. It's a lot of money. And I think as a young person going into it, it's often, you don't really think about that. I never thought about that, and the truth.
No, I don't think we valued education growing up. I mean, whether you need university education in film, I don't think so. Going back to uni for business after having traveled to poor countries, I'm like, wow, this is a privilege to be here.
It is.
And this can actually take me further. Do you need an arts degree? No.
I think that's a big problem with it, right? Is they're trying to make an institution that's like a one size fits all approach, that everyone goes to it and it's just like an overarching entity that just does education for everything. But I think that's where the cracks are starting to show, right? It's like, do you need it for certain kind of fields? And the answer is no, you don't really. Like definitely, my social work degree was phenomenal. I did prac, went into the field, got a job straight away. It was a very clear pathway, but I think it's different in the art world.
Totally.
Where, you need.
So, what do you think is a better way to do it?
I have no idea. I have no idea. That's for the academics to work out. You guys are writing papers. Come on, work out a strategy.
Look, I mean, obviously nepotism is a beautiful way to get into any industry. I wish I had a little bit of that, but I think networking, finding mentors, and going on, just finding people who can take you a little bit further, whether that's through Facebook groups or Instagram, or just hitting people up. Like I met a young photographer on a shoot recently. I contacted you about her.
Yeah, that's right, you did.
Hannah. And
shout out to Hannah.
Yeah, if she's listening.
Be in touch, Hannah.
I can't see if her name's on there, but yeah, she was great, and obviously she's really, really at the start of her career, very green, and as soon as she said she was interested in weddings, I was like, I work in weddings. Come to a wedding. Come learn.
And that's the best way to learn is to get out in the field and see what other people are doing and practice and learn. Nothing's going to prepare you for the wedding industry specifically, though. I think the wedding industry is a fast-moving industry. It's very hard to establish yourself in the scene. And what people would usually say is like, find your right people, build a niche, right? And kind of stand out and occupy a really unique space. And I think that's what a lot of young people coming into it struggle with, and for good reason. It's like, how do you even begin to conceptualize that? You need to, think about so many different things, like what's your look going to be? How are you going to get the experience to get the look behind your work? How are you going to build a portfolio with that look, present a certain kind of messaging, and then find people that attracts and bring them in? It's like a really complicated thing to build up.
It is. I've had the beautiful privilege to be able to shoot for you and to shoot for Atlas Film Studio, C. Smith Photography, and really practice and figure out what it is that I actually like. Style is a strong word, but what excites me about an image, and what kind of emotions do I want to convey through an image, I've been able to practice that and now build that portfolio to be able to take to market. Yeah,
that's exactly right. And that's what you need to do, man. It's you need to set up your you need to have a vision, right? And then you bring that vision into reality and then put it out there, and then let people find it and come to you, get in front of the people. And then that's what I did for a while. I mean, my avenue was not so much through subcontract shooting, because I was working in corporate space a lot at the time. So I was trying. Weddings was my artistic release pretty much for a long period of time. I was doing like the style shoots a lot. We've done two together.
Editorials.
The editorials. Fun. Yeah. So, that's how I kind of built my photography style. But I took it to the market at a wedding expo and showed it off there. And that was a really great way to kind of showcase what you can do, get in front of people, bring people into, your kind of area and then be able to sell them the service. So, I think you need there's so many different ways to do it. I personally think the best way is to do what you've done, where you can kind of work for someone else, right? And then build up that kind of experience and portfolio, and then hope that you're allowed to use the footage, because I know a lot of vendors out there aren't allowing that, right? Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, I've only worked with my friends.
Yeah.
You know, and I've worked for some other like contract wedding companies as well. And they don't seem to have an issue with it either.
No, I think it's only fair. Like at the end of the day, it's like if you shoot for me, it's still your work. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's your camera, you're a subcontractor. You know what I mean? So it's totally. a bit different. So I think if anyone's out there, like, and they're working for someone, and you're subcontractor, and you have your own camera and your own gear, and you're shooting your own artistic experience, like you need to be able to use that footage. You know what definitely. I mean? Like I think so at least. Like there's no good holding people back, because then, you know, let's say you want to come into the industry. There's no point trying to gatekeep you and be like, you know, you're not going to come in, you're going to be competition or whatever, because that's just going to cause problems further down the track. You know, where if you build a relationship with people, then, you know, all of a sudden you have someone who's going to refer you. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a better way to operate. So yeah, don't make enemies, make friends. That's my kind of opinion. Yeah, but let's really dive into it. So you're going through the stage at the moment, right, where you're kind of coming into like, I guess, a new space, you would say. Like where are you kind of at with things?
Yeah, so I kicked off Solfilms this year.
Yeah, congratulations, Solfilms. Check them out on Instagram. It's looking really good, man.
Yeah. So it's solfilms.love on Instagram, and Real Solfilms for my like branded content, I guess. And it's an interesting one. I mean, trying to do both branded and wedding is something I'm still trying to figure out if that's the right way to position the company, or whether I separate the two as different identities.
Yeah.
I love both spaces.
Yeah.
Like advertising, as scummy as it may seem, you're trying, like, you're telling a message with visuals. You're trying to create something that sparks emotion in people and actually persuades them to do something. You'd hope that is of benefit to them in the world. But and I guess that's what led me to create Solfilms. Is I've worked for a lot of other companies. I've worked on a lot of TV commercials, like high-end TV commercials across Australia, and often felt like, man, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
We're working so hard to make something that looks so good, to get people to spend their hard-earned cash on something they don't need or don't want, or making content to distract people from living their lives. Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm part of the problem.
We're all part of the problem, mate. It's a vicious. It's a hard word to come to terms with. Look, I had a lot of apprehension coming into the social media space when I first started, like really trying, because I was at that realization. I was like, okay, so I've got all these skills and I've got all this experience, and I've been doing it since 14, 15 years old, but I'm not getting hired. Like, what's going on? Like where are these referrals coming from? Family, but and then you got it. Like, I just had to ask myself. I was like, I personally believe like Instagram and social media, they're great. There's a lot of benefit to it, but it causes a lot of problems in our society as well, So like, I guess from your side, it's like I'm making content that others are using to kind of sell something that I'm not really passionate about. Like for me, social media was never really that thing that I was really, really passionate about. Truthfully. So I don't know. I kind of try to like bring when I first started, it was like how can I bring like positivity into the space? That's like what. So I was like teaching people online a lot of the time, tutorials, my industry knowledge, how like at the time it was like how learning videography at a professional level like was combining with photography, and how I was bringing that into the space, and people really connected with that. Like the big one that blew up was the CTO gels, because for whatever reason photographers don't know about balancing different color temperature lights. And
101.
Yeah, it's like 101 in video. Exactly. The first thing I learned is, you have your bicolor lights because you need to balance your lighting. Why aren't we doing that with flash photography? Anyway, so I went down that rabbit hole, and people really related with it. And that's kind of where it started for me. It was like, how can I find like an avenue, right, where it's like there's a bit of passion behind it as well. And then provide value into other people's lives. And I think that's what I always come back to with my wedding work as well. It's like, how can I bring the most amount of value into my couple's lives, right? It's, like, let's produce them. And, we have the same mindset on the job, we're just like all about the fucking shot. It's just like everything.
But for them, it's like,
for them.
We were having this discussion beforehand, but there's a lot of photographers and videographers out there that are making work on wedding video photo for their own portfolio. And it's like, yes, sure, your beautiful image will go on my website and I'll be proud of it. But I'm not there for me. I'm there for you. I'm there for, as a couple, it's it's all about you guys.
It's a really hard one to balance, isn't it? Because they hire you for your work, so you want to be able to give them their work, but you also need to give them the experience that they're after as well.
Totally.
Yeah. I struggle with that a lot because a lot of like those stylized images, again, people are like, we love them. We want to get them. We want to get a couple throughout the day. What happens if the couple doesn't on the day feel like they want to have the 20-minute kind of session to get those images? You know, do you completely let it go? Are they going to regret that decision? You know, it's really, really difficult. It's a really difficult one to manage and to kind of know what to do.
I think your style can also position you to be more favorable to specific couples as well. Because you do that more stylized stuff, you may get couples that really want to put that time into the more performative shots. My brand's definitely positioned differently. It's
more documentary, more
documentary, more like peaceful, like calming, relaxed, candid. So we'll be attracting different clients.
Correct, man.
You know?
And that's the thing. It's that you need to build a brand, right? And you need to find your own people. You know, it's like, that's what it's about, I think, and it's sticking true to yourself. And obviously, me coming from a photography commercial background, you know, I'm big on the stylized. You know, that's kind of my jam. That's what we do. You know, we throw the lights up, we leave the lights in the shot. You know, we kind of show off. You know, this is the production value that we're providing. And
whereas I come from film, where the lights are not in the shot,
that's right.
ever in the shot, or from documentary, where it's like don't mess with them. Just let them do their thing and capture it and tell that story.
It's correct. And look, I do a little bit of that, but a lot of what I do is usually controlled in it's editorial. It's an editorial style where you try and make the scene look natural, but you're kind of imposing certain ways of working onto the kind of setting and the scene. Where you're definitely more of a purist documentary kind of approach, which is great.
Totally different. I mean, I like it when you bring in your flash right into the shot and then just take a plate and cut that out. Like, cool.
No, it does. But like a lot, what I've really so like, obviously, you know, working with yourself and learning video and learning more cinema, what I've really become obsessed with is like, you know, like it's great to add your flash in and to have that there to add to the scene, but when you can add your flash in and make it appear natural, so it's like it's originating from a possible light source, that's when your photos go from, you know, good to fucking next brilliant level. You know. And there's been a few images that I've done where I've been like, and I've looked at it and I've go, that's what's making the image, is that it's a flash image, it's lit, and but we're using lighting in a way to make it more true to life, because photography can always come out flat if you don't use lighting. And you know, when you look at things in real life, it has depth and dimensionality. And photographers struggle a lot with that. You know, a lot of them produce images that are a little washed out and flat, and they don't really have that kind of feel to them. And I'm just like, just go watch a movie. Why do you think the multi-million-dollar movie productions light in that way and edit in that way and use contrast and use lighting in a way to kind of create depth and dimensionality and shapes, not, you know, flatness and blandness. And so I don't know. Take a leaf out of our book. Stop producing flat images.
That's a good title, hey? No, it's something that I've spent so much time on learning cinematography, is how to make it look like I haven't lit the scene. And, you know, not every, like if you bring it back into weddings and corporate, not every client or couple is going to want that. They may want it to look quite specky and really feel like you feel their money on the screen, you know. But that's not everyone's cup of tea. So it's nice to be able to have a flexible style. And as a cinematographer shooting short films, I try to, not have one specific style. I don't want it to feel like, oh, that's a Michael Sgro film. You know, it's like, no, absolutely not. I want to use the language that I have, all these different tools and utilize all these different tools to create your feeling and your story and tell that uniquely.
So you're trying to put yourself in your couple's shoes, and you're trying to create films that are meaningful to them and relate with them and kind of tell their personality through the semiotics, I guess. Gotcha. Yeah. It's a really advanced way to do filmmaking, man.
And it's hard when you're on a wedding and you have control over nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You haven't even, sometimes maybe you can be like, oh, can you push the ceremony a little bit later or whatever? Yeah. You know, when you shoot a ceremony, you're handcuffed to what they've organized.
Correct.
You know? So you also, that's where the doco background comes in, because you notice I won't put up lights during the photo shoot time, unless I want to like do a simulated sunset. But I don't think we've actually done that together. But yeah, that's the doco background is this is what I've got. How do I make it tell the story that I need? Well, their story.
Yeah.
How do I make it feel beautiful?
That's a great way to do it, man. Yeah, look, there's how would you say it? It's like, the way you think about video production, it's very cinema. It's you know what I mean? It's like, this is how they kind of teach you to think about constructing a scene and constructing a narrative and constructing a story, right? And I think that's the benefit of doing something like university is you do have that different kind of thinking about,
that structured approach to something,
structured approach to narrative, and then structured approach to how you're telling the story through your single frame. Like you're using lighting in a certain way, you're using composition in a certain way. You're seeing what's available, but you're kind of adapting to the certain shot you're getting. Like a lot of people don't have that. They don't quite understand let's say you have a light source, and the position of the light source will ultimately determine how the scene feels. And depending on what you're trying to convey, you should use the lighting accordingly. Like not a lot of people do that, especially in the wedding space.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to take a second to say hello to everyone who's
we've got
watching.
viewers in here.
Lovely to have you guys here. If you have any questions or anything you want us to discuss,
ask us some bloody questions. We got three viewers in here, eh? So Michael is a director of photography in the cinema space. We both work in weddings very regularly. So if you have any questions on wedding photography, documentary, filmmaking, gear, how to get into the industry, let us know. We have a lot of knowledge to spill, guys. It's free education. Come on. Utilize it. Bloody hell. Give us a thumbs up as well if you're in here. Kind of help us out. It's like that classic like. That means a lot to us, and let's just know you are in here and you're engaging, you're listening, you're enjoying the conversation, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to bring great content out to the internet that's people are going to relate with. So get on that bloody keyboard and give us a thumbs up, mate.
That's it.
Good stuff. Yeah, sweet. So how are you finding like the self-employment space?
It's an interesting one. I've been a freelancer for 7 or 8 years now, and it ebbs and flows.
Yeah,
it's like there's confidence issues in it in some ways, because you never know where your next paycheck is coming from. Yep. So sometimes you're like, oh, I don't have any work lined up for 4 weeks.
Yeah,
how am I going to eat?
Yeah,
unfortunately, good in some ways, bad in others. You put in an invoice and it'll get paid in 30 days time. So you're kind of always working on this buffer of a month.
Yeah.
Obviously you need to build up that buffer.
Yeah.
I went to Europe earlier this year for 6 weeks. Fantastic. All these invoices were coming through while I was away. Brilliant. A little bit of extra spending money. Don't mind that. Get home, no work.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, during that
no invoices coming in.
July period, when it's a tough one, eh? It's I don't think that ever goes away. Unfortunately, especially in that kind of business owner kind of space, right? Yeah. You're always just kind of aware that you have slow months, you have good months, you have bad months, you have no work some months. Then it's like months.
Yeah. And my fallback has always been networking. It's just let's go get coffee, let's have a beer, let's go meet more people. Let's not necessarily going to networking events. I don't think that's necessarily the way to do it. I have an authenticity crisis in my own head where I'm like, anytime you try and do something too intentionally, it won't work. Like online dating or going to networking events, that's not where you network.
My best advice was keep your calendar full. Don't worry what it is. Just keep your calendar full. Just go out, just do stuff, just network with people in a non-networking way. Just go out and meet people, you know what I mean? Exactly. And that's what I do. That's what I try and do here, just literally, this is networking. This is meeting people, getting in front of people, meeting other people. We have a really great comment from Third Eye Pictures. How do you manage timing in a wedding, knowing its complexity and the short time frames you're often given, especially if you want to create something as a cinematographer?
Give me that one more time. That was quite a wordy question.
How do you manage timing in a wedding, knowing its complexity and short time frame to create as a cinematographer?
Manage complexity, manage timing.
Yeah, so I think he's asking like, how do you with your craft and with your skills, how do you create something as a cinematographer through that kind of perspective of, you know, work in that creative way, especially on a wedding when, you know, the timeline's so condensed and there's so many kind of places you need to be and you're restricted to, you know, various different things.
For sure. I'd say it's knowing when you can be creative. Obviously, during a ceremony, you're limited, and it's much more important that you get everything than make an exceptional looking shot. You'll find moments where you can just go a little bit wider and the framing's a little bit nicer, whatever. But that's not really where, I mean, you make your money. Not that it's about the money, but where you find your creativity, in my eyes, is knowing the location and having ideas of what you want to shoot beforehand. So give away my secrets, don't mind. I have a few style sheets and I'll make a style sheet for each couple and sweet. Try and figure out like what's their vibe. Are they really affectionate? Are they quite performative? How do they work? And how do they interact? Are they quite like, you know, are they tight? Are they really tight, or do they like a bit of space, more respectful? That's so awesome that you do that, man. I was going to say, pre-planning. And that's like a really advanced way of pre-planning, you know, like you're not only like, I guess you're meeting with them as well, but you're not only doing that, but you're actually like putting the time into like mood boarding and storyboarding and creating. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. You can get that level of work from someone, bloody hell. But not a lot of people do that, you know, put the time and effort into their couples. I really think it's worth it. I mean, the biggest thing that gets in the way of those shots, because I create all the references, I'll put them into a little mood board and bring that along, and I'll have it on my phone with me for the couple. Sure. But the thing that gets in the way is when the dress is too big. When the dress is too big, you are limited. Yeah, man. You are limited. The logistics of a wedding and the veil and stuff, it's a lot, eh? Like, they often come out, those veils, you know, they're blowing in the wind, they're pulling the hair out, and usually by the end of it, the barrage is like done with this veil, especially on the rainy, windy days. But it's a good point, man. It's a good point to bring up, you know, like how do you manage the logistics of a wedding day? How do you get the stuff you need? Being tight with the venue staff really helps, building a good rapport with them as quickly as possible, talking to the MC. Definitely. Making like... It kills me when MCs are like, and the speeches are happening right now. I know. Like, what do you mean? Wait for the media team to come in. So who does that really? When you have an MC who's actually like, nothing happens until you're ready. Fucking brilliant. I know that a lot of people do that, and if you're an MC and you're a DJ and you're not allowing time or like just acknowledging that your photographer's around or your videographer's ready to set up and you're just going for it, that's not a cool move. All you need is you're on the DJ decks and you go, yeah, that's right. Teamwork, collaboration's everything, you know. We had a really great experience down south with Big Mouth, wasn't it? Oh no, that was Big Mouth as well. Was really great. She was fantastic. She was fantastic. Who do we have down south? At Hayley's wedding. Yeah, that's right. She's actually coming on my podcast. Probably slipped her name. Yeah. Hayley's coming on? No, not Hayley. The Celebrant MC. Who I do know, I do know your name, and lovely lady, amazing hair, and I've just slipped my brain because diving into the cinematography space. I'm sorry, apologies in advance. Okay, sorry we can't remember your name, but it makes so much. Have you been shooting an Indian wedding? I have shot many Indian weddings. Love Indian weddings, multiple days, sometimes big celebrations. A lot of them like my style, that really stylized kind of flash photography. I think that's really big in that kind of space. So I've been doing quite a lot of those. I was going to say, managing timelines and weddings and getting the shots that you want. For me, the styled shoots were a really big one. It was like actually learning like what is possible and what amount of time, so I could like begin to work out my ways of working. So like I know that I have my flash photography system down, and if I have 5 minutes, we can get the shot, you know. And it's like people are like, how can you do that in 5 minutes? And well, the assistant, you know, as well helps, but I could do it on my own. The assistant just speeds it up. So that's why we always bring one. But it was just knowing my gear ins and out, knowing that what flash power needs to be on and where it needs to go and how it's going to be lit, and seeing the image before. So just a lot of practice, and working out how long it takes to do certain things. Yeah, definitely. I think working as a duo as well. Yeah, like because you're the photographer, I'm the videographer. Like I can let you go and work on something. Yeah, and I'll be shooting alongside you, but I'll be thinking about, okay, what do I want to get here?
Yeah.
And then once you've got your shot, I'll take over. I'll start.
Yeah, that's right.
Putting them into my space, getting something that I think will really work for them.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking about your next shot.
Yeah.
So we're tag teaming the whole time.
Build teams. Don't, like that's the tragedy with that industry, man. It's just like full of people who don't work. Individuals. Yeah. That's it. Like where Michael and I, you've shot every video wedding that you've been available for, and we'll continue to do so, until, obviously, you're branching out and stuff. But yeah, that just allows us to collaborate and work together so efficiently. Like we really got our practices down, and like the value we're able to provide our couples is just enormous. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's massive. And like,
huge. Yeah.
I had the same thing working with C. Smith Photography, and I still do. Callum, he's a really good friend of mine, and we have that same synergy where he's shooting photo, I'm doing video. Working with Bailey at Atlas was fantastic because we had such a great rapport, but he wasn't a photographer. So we often had photographers that we'd never worked with before because the couples booked them. Yep. A few of them hit the blacklist. I can promise you that. That blacklist is like...
But that's the thing, guys. It's like, where, I don't know why there's that competition, firstly. And secondly, it's like, just like if you find people, like just treat each other well and just, like grow together, you know what I mean? Share as well, grow together, do like collaborate on the day. Like, Michael really I think you liked me because I was like used to like check your frames and stuff and make sure I'm not stepping in when we first started working together. And I was like, but just like that acknowledgement, and that allows you to kind of relate with people, build relationships, and then end up like we have providing service to our couples. And it's been great. Getting good work through and stuff. And in a scenario,
a big juicy comment there.
Yeah, in a scenario where, sorry, let me read that again. In a scenario where after creating your storyboard and all that, what happens when things don't turn out to planned, and what do you do in that moment? So let's say you created a storyboard, you've done everything, things don't turn out to plan, something's run late, celebrant stuffed up or whatever it is, and what do you do now?
I'm gonna
you cry.
Just swap the diction there. So go from storyboard to mood board.
Mood board.
Don't
say a storyboard,
keep you alive.
mate.
And the reason I say don't say storyboard is because you don't have control, right? You don't. You only have references and inspiration. You don't have control of the day.
That is such a wise thing to say, Michael, because you don't on a wedding day. Ultimately, it's their day. Like it's their day. You don't want to impose. You want to make sure you're giving the couple what they want. That's number one. And number two is you're not going in with a storyboard, right? And we're going to craft this perfect timeline. No, it's like this is inspirational looks, right?
Totally. And you've decided with the couple, we're going to go for a sunset shoot after your entry, and they say,
can't be fun.
Leave it.
Yeah. They have to leave it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
exactly
you can't be too rigid. You have to be really, really flexible, I think is what it comes down to.
Wedding's all about flexibility, fluidity, going with the flow, working around. Yeah.
Our wedding at the Joondalup Resort recently, it rained. Yeah. It pierced down raining.
That was completely unexpected. Completely unexpected.
That might not be your sunny mood weather board.
But every weekend, mate. It's raining today again. Every bloody weekend. It's literally every weekend. Once a week in Perth it rains, which is unusual.
As soon as you've got a shoot, it's raining.
I know, mate.
But so that wedding, we shot a lot of it with umbrellas.
Yep.
And that was great.
And look, it came out nice. Look, I think the problem with like the lighting and the rain is you're so limited to the spaces you can move to, and you're like, okay, we got this one really nice, soft, flattering lighting photo. Like, what do we do now? Because we've got that shot. Like, where do you go from here? Because you're restricted. You can't move. The lighting's nice to produce one certain style of image, but then it's how do you create a diversified gallery? And that's what I struggle with.
And sometimes popping up a little battery powered bicolor light as a hard sunset behind them, fantastic. You've just broken it up a little bit. As long as you blow it, not blow out the background, but blur out the background a little bit, maybe you can hide the fact that
it's still daytime
and there's no actual sunset happening right now. Because as soon as you see warm light on them and nothing warm in the background.
It's hard in video.
It's gone.
You can't pull the image as much. You can't manipulate the image as much. Photography is a lot easier to do stuff like that, you know, where I can put a 1-speed light up, put a gel on it, and then that's producing such a large light source. It's like a 200 watt LED, you know, so it's just like blasting it. And full reflector on.
Did we answer that whole question? I feel there may be a little bit more to it.
No, that's that is all. Let us know if you have any more questions, guys. Love the comments, love the people contributing. I think we have a few people in here at the moment, so let us know where you're from, what you're watching, and if you guys kind of want us to answer everything else. My eyesight is a little bit crap, to be honest. It's hard to read the comments. I need to put a screen up or something so I can actually interact with these guys a lot better, because I really love the audience as well. The audience interaction is always really, really amazing. Nice. It is really good to get these people through. We always have a lot of support. So thanks for hanging in there, guys, and watching. And
I just want to add one more little bit on not having control. I think building the rapport with the couple and really being tuned into them, like, to be able to do that, you need to be so good technically. You need to really know your gear inside out. You need to know shooting and making a beautiful image inside out. And once you got that foundation, now your social skills, reading the couple, what's making them uncomfortable, what's really working for them. Okay, when they look at each other, they're fine. Brilliant. Let's work with that. They don't like something that's too posed. Okay, or maybe they do really like posing stuff. They don't feel comfortable coming up with something themselves. Okay, well, let's give them strict, elbow here. Whatever.
strict directions. Adapting to the people and working with them. I'm really big on that. I think that's enormous. You need to be able to do that, in and out. That's your whole job. Making people feel comfortable. Rapport is everything, I think, at least. Like especially in film, where you're getting that moving motion, because you can kind of hide it in photography, because you can kind of filter out the photos that aren't working. In film,
one frame, everything. Perfect. They looked happy for that second.
You're getting everything in film, so you really need to make sure that setting is built up so the couple are acting true to themselves, because otherwise it's going to feel a bit too static. And I think the way we usually pose is. And I know that I'm really big, even just on, like, if I'm taking a shot of someone like holding their watch, like, I will never stop movement. You always keep moving, and just take your mind off it, like eyes up, eyes down, eyes here, move around, like the one you did with the hand around the hand, look at each other, bump each other, like stuff like that. You lay it out, you lay the foundation for the pose, but then you want to keep the movement through it. And I think that's how you can just distract a little bit. And it doesn't need to be enormous, but you just need to give them a little bit of a distraction so they're not reminded, oh, we're taking a photo, or we're taking a film right now. And
I think you want to keep, like, for lack of a better word, those like honey boo boo feelings around. You don't want them to think about the logistics or getting everything they need or want. You want them to feel
it's your responsibility.
That's connected to their partner and
right?
having fun with their bridal party.
So true. You need to create that experience from the start, right? Where it's like, how do we make sure you're not stressing out on the wedding day so you can relax and because then I can get good footage or I can get good photos. Yeah, it's really hard to do.
I've got a question for you, James.
So we got a viewer from Nigeria. Thanks so much, mate, for letting us know and being in here, brother.
Cool.
It's really cool, man. What is your opinion on? What's up, Waynos? Thanks for jumping in, mate. You'll be on the podcast tomorrow, I believe, mate. So good to have you in here tomorrow. There you go. Cool. Yeah. So he's asked, what is your opinion on vendor highlighting at a wedding? I.e., specific vendors employed to do vendor content at a wedding, right? Paid, but okay, sure.
Like content creators.
Yeah, so let's say you have a vendor who's employed to only get vendor content at a wedding that you were employed to do. I see. It's a good point, mate. I think there's a space for it, but you have to make sure you're not intruding on the wedding, right? Like, I've used content creators at weddings for my own content. And the first thing I always said to them is just don't be intrusive. Like, make sure you're not kind of part of it. Because it's not a shoot for your Instagram. It's not a shoot for your socials. Yes, I always get social media content, but I always make sure I ask whether or not certain things are okay to film. It's in my contract. The first thing I say is, what are you comfortable or not comfortable doing in terms of social media? If you're not comfortable with us getting social media, just let us know, and then we'll take it out of the contract. We won't use any social media stuff. So, it's just a matter of communicating, I think, right? right? And laying out the foundation.
And I think also not taking them out of their moment is a really big one. Like, there's no issue stepping away at some point to, you know, let's say the bride and groom just want a second to have some food, have a drink. You step away, do a little social media video, that's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
But if you're getting them staged for a shot and then you pause them and you start talking to a camera, you know, that's not good.
Not good.
They get in their heads that, oh, that's a bit weird. Like, oh, we're just like
standing here right now. Yeah, we're kind of filling in for the shot. Yeah.
You know, you don't want that.
No, you don't want that.
Yeah.
No, you can't take the couple out of the element. It's like, and you can't be rigid. And the best social media content nowadays, what you guys want to see is natural content. You know, you don't want to see that hyper styled, you know, like you're better off just watching someone work for a full wedding day, you know, and seeing what they actually do. And that's what people are starting to realize. I think that's why the FPS content's so popular nowadays. That's why the organic phone content's so popular. And look, if you have a content creator there who's kind of just lingering behind you, assisting maybe as well, you know, so they're actually providing value to the data. I don't see any problem with it. I don't know about you. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, thanks for that question. That was really cool.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
The question I've got for you, James.
Yeah, go for it.
Is, do you think it's harder to be, stay on weddings, a wedding photographer or a wedding videographer?
They each have their own problems, or their own challenges, I should say, and their own things that really interest me and intrigue me. I think photography is really difficult because of the expectation on the quality of the shots really, really big. So like when you take a photo, that image is a still image. So you're observing that. It's going on the wall. You're observing that photo though for a longer period of time than you would a single frame in a video. So like video, the movement and the fluidity and the continuous nature of it, I think actually makes it a little less challenging to get those really spectacular shots, because if you can kind of keep the movement and keep it flowing, you can kind of make something look really good. And you don't really need to be so focused on getting that one perfect frame. So that's the main challenge, I think, in photography, is kind of adapting your way of working to just make sure that you're really focused on getting a single really good frame out of a series of photos. With video, it's more like, how do we make a scene? How do we make it natural? How do we make this movement kind of feel authentic? And
and there's also like cutting multiple shots together. It's not just each frame sits on the wall on its own.
The videography, the challenge comes from tying together narratives, I think. The post-production, the narrative process. But the thing with video is that your way of shooting will ultimately determine how you edit. So, you know, there's like that rule where, you know, if you have a setting, let's say I'm taking a video of you and you're doing your watch, I'll probably get 3 to 5 different shots of you doing that, so we can edit together a scene rather than just a single shot. So, you know, you would get your wide shot, your close shot, your establishing shot, you might get your detail shot, you might get, you know, and then you can kind of tie it together. You do that actually really well. We're going to watch Naz and Karis's film after this, and so that's
that'd be really good.
So I just finished that one, the video we worked on together, and what you do a really good job of is you almost like see it before we go into post production. You're like, if Naz looks this way and Karis looks this way, we can cut it together that way. You know, you have that like thought process. I definitely see that in what you do a lot, and I think, that's like the challenge of videography, is like having that story mindset and being like, what are we actually shooting to create a story, and have that post-production in mind. It's like an entire process more so than just photography, I think. Yeah.
So one of the reasons I have never even considered wedding photography is because I've felt that was, higher stakes. If that's the word for it.
It is a little.
Like what you're saying.
There's more pressure.
Yeah.
Especially with the directing. Like when you're the photographer, you have to pose, you have to construct, you have to manage. For some reason, videographers don't get that. I don't know what it is.
Photographers are doing all the work.
You guys chill out. Look, the videographers, to have a different type of work though, because you have multiple cameras to manage. You have audio. You have drone shots to get. You have, you know, whatever it else might be, storage to manage. There's different things that you need to be thinking about as a videographer rather than getting the family shots. Like, you know, after a ceremony, like you have your we use two cameras either side and a third camera up. Two lav mics, sometimes 3 lav mics. a zoom, that's a lot of gear, you know.
Totally.
What about if you have a gimbal as well? If you're a gimbal guy, you're running around with a freaking RS3 as well. You need to pack that up and down all day.
And the celebrant wants to run away with your microphone.
Yeah. So, there's different things to do. I think, you need to have that more technical mind in videography. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the edit. I think the edit is such a major suck of time. You need so much time for the edit, and you need to go through revisions with the couple.
If you do editing properly.
Sure. If you get AI to cut it all for you, it's always
you can do editing cheap, and you can make a wedding film that's just a start to finish narrative, not even a narrative. You just literally get your
every shot.
Yeah, you're just chronological. Where like what Michael would do from knowing how much you do put into your work is that you're not just putting a start to finish narrative. You're obviously looking at it and you're going, where's the emotional peaks, where's the emotional downs, how are we going to bring the viewer on a journey through what they're watching. Totally. And doing that's difficult. That's the key. It's like not a lot of videographers put the time into doing that. And I think like when couples go, I'm going to watch a 5-minute film, I'm going to be bored. You shouldn't be bored. You know what I mean? You should.
If you're bored, we've failed.
You failed, yeah. Especially if it's your wedding. You should be emotionally invested into it. And I know my wedding films, like I definitely put a lot of time into that. It's into yes, I have my style and my ways of working and the work I'm putting out, but it's always like, how are we going to do something a little bit different for this couple, right? And how are we going to make sure that this couple has a unique approach to what we're editing? And it does all come from that post-production usually, I think, yeah. Got a lot of new viewers in here, guys. We're just chatting everything wedding photography and videography. Michael's a director, photographer. He's really great at what he does. So please feel free to ask us questions. I'm a full-time photographer and videographer, shooting weddings. Michael and I work together a lot. And we love the narrative stuff. We love to be artistic. So tune in, guys. Let us know where you're from. Give us a thumbs up and jump on the questions. How do you begin your edits? Teasers. Do you do teasers, Michael? Firstly, let's ask that. And from end to beginning or from beginning to end? How do you begin your edit teasers? From end to beginning or from beginning to end? I don't quite know what you mean, my man.
I think he's saying chronologically, whether you start at the end of the wedding.
My teaser, the first thing.
I think they are talking narrative structure.
I usually open with a teaser. So it's like a 50-second kind of like zhunk, and then it'll like slow down and then come back to it.
In your main edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, playing it a few different ways. If you're talking about teasers as an actual separate video product, like what I did for...
Yeah, you do a lot of those, yeah.
Talia and Keenan, and for Hayley, I've forgotten Hayley's partner's name.
Sat.
There's no structure. I find stuff that looks cool and I try and see where it fits, create a story. That's true.
Yeah, there is it's not really a structure, is there? I guess that's kind of what we're getting at. Like we don't necessarily follow a formula per se.
There's a formula in shooting it for sure. Like for ceremony or for speeches. Yeah, we have a formula for that because you can't miss a second of that.
No.
That like people always tell me weddings are scary. What if you miss something? It's like, no.
Well, not at our level.
Mate, you got a formula, you're sweet.
We're too pro, bro. Hire us, we're too pros. We're better than everyone else.
Hey, stop it. No, that's great.
Gosh. No, I think what Michael and I both believe is that when we shoot, when we edit, we're not a copy, cut and paste. Every film is different. Every couple is different. Adapt the way of shooting, your ways of doing things to the person you're working with, and you work from a client-centric position. Totally. Always do that. So that's kind of what we really align on. So I don't just edit a film, copy the timeline, put it into the next one, and just change the clips. Like that just seems cheap and a ripoff. And if videographers are doing that, please stop.
It actually wastes everyone's time.
Well, there might be couples out there who want that product, but I think maybe it's our responsibility to actually explain and show them, through our work, like what's actually different. How does it actually change? Because it's enormously different. When you see those films that are just, and you're like, oh my God, here we go again. It's another wedding film. It's like, you don't want your wedding films to be like that unless you do, but I don't.
It's not my taste. We've got another one there, I think.
More like the highlight to talk about all weddings happening in the shortest of time. More like, I don't understand that. Yeah, I think it's asking like how do we structure our highlight film. So look, I'll kind of tell you what I do. So my timeline generally looks like I'll have like a 50-second teaser. So that would be like all the best shots, you know, kind of introducing the two people who are getting married, tying that all together, you know, ring shots, jewelry shots, all that. Then I'll kind of like fade it to black, put my title in there, and then bring it back into a more raw and organic kind of film that builds back up and then kind of comes back down, then builds back up, you know. What's that? Narrative, story, film? 101.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of have that up and down, you know, like your what's it called? The build, the climax, and the
denouement.
My nose up.
Yeah.
Going back to year 12.
I guess, yeah, mine are a little bit different because I have more of that documentary style. Like, it's a bit more chronological for sure. I don't have as many like, I guess full stories in 3 little arcs. You know, I have, it's more using the flow of the day to create its own narrative structure rather than going start to finish 3 times in the video, if that makes sense, or 2 times, which other companies I have worked for have done. Didn't work for me necessarily, but you know, everyone's got a different style of doing it.
Yeah, I think the documentary approach you do is and look, it's really great. It's more of a relaxed feeling, more of an organic feeling. Like the teasers you do, I get what you're saying. The teasers you do, they're not fabricated to that point, right? No. I don't think they are. At least I get a feeling of fun and excitement. You know,
I think the teasers, like if you're talking about like Instagram content or like social cuts that you might do for a couple, like the one with Sat and Haley, at least the first one I cut of that, I was like, this man loves to dance.
Yeah.
Let's make a whole video about that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Finding those little quirks about people.
Yeah.
Bringing it into the film.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great, man. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. You're doing really great stuff, man.
Thanks, man.
What do you think couples actually want from us? What do couples want?
From photo, video.
From photo and video, yeah. What's like the like what do you hear, or I don't know, what do you see? What do couples want? Cheap rates.
I want cheap rates.
They do want cheap
something
rates.
affordable.
Maybe we can talk about that. Like, how much time do you actually think goes into like a 10-hour wedding day?
Depends on the products you're selling.
Yeah.
If you're talking about actual paid hours.
Yeah, because that's what I'm because if I do a 10-hour day, because I pay myself 10 hours, I pay you 10 hours, I pay an assistant 10 hours. So that's 30 hours just there.
Sure.
Then it's usually 5 hours of pre-meeting, so 35. Photos are usually 15 to 25 hours. So I'd say 20. So what's that? 35, 55.
The post.
Yeah. And then video is what, 30 probably? So 85 hours for a 10-hour wedding day.
For photo and video.
Yeah, photo and video.
And that's coming through at $7,000. What are you sitting at?
Yeah, about 7K. I think it's about generally what I get. Look, there's people who do it higher.
That's pretty affordable for photo and video.
Yeah.
There's wedding photographers I know who charge $10,000 just for photos.
A lot of the more established wedding photographers charge in Perth, I would say around that 5 to 7K is probably the top kind of, or maybe like the middle to top market. I know there's photographers out there charging a lot more. But yeah, so for an 8-hour photography day, I would charge, I think 4,500, 4,200. And then the video to add it on to a 9-hour day is now at 7K. So yeah, the margins aren't that much of an increase, right? You know, you kind of, you're less than doubling for a lot more work. But yeah, I think it's just the nature of the game at the moment, really.
Yeah.
I think, it's kind of, it's hard to sell a luxury service at the moment. Like, you know, it's really difficult because funds are tight. Funds are tight, man.
Houses getting more expensive and that. Yeah.
Funds are really tight. Yeah, especially when you become a registered business like myself, you have advertising fees, GST, and all the overheads. Like it really just knocks it down. Look, I need to go up, definitely, if I'm going to continue to provide the level of service I provide. But I think it's crossing over because this is really my first 6 months of really providing like a high-end photo and video experience with assistants and with multiple cameras like that. You know, I've really just invested in the other couple of bodies. So there's a transition period, I guess, is what I'm going through at the moment, where I'm probably still more so at that kind of sole trader level. But yeah, I need to kind of push, but it's convincing people, you know, and yeah, you need a lot of social proof nowadays, think that's
you definitely want to be doing the pool marketing, and I don't necessarily know the way to do that, but if you can be bringing people to you, they want you, their friends have said you need to get this photographer, like he's the one you need. That's where you want to be.
That's where you want to be. And look, I do get that, which is great. Where the people who do book me based on that. Like usually they don't, like they see the rates and they go, they're really good. But I would say every day I get a call of someone saying I'm way too expensive. Like every day I get one email, one call, probably maybe every other day. Someone will call me and they'll go, like I had an email the other day. Someone was like, I can't believe what you're charging. And I'm like, I don't think I'm that expensive. I think I'm really affordable. The amount of time I'm putting into it, like 80 to 100 hours of work, it's fucking insane, And then, someone's like, oh, you're, and then I'm like, oh, it just it just stings sometimes. Like people out there, you're looking for a photographer or videographer, just be fucking nice. Like, and actually like truthfully, there is a difference between like what I provide and what other people provide. And, there's a quality difference as well. And sometimes you need to kind of acknowledge that a little bit, like,
It's better to be the one they can't afford and wish they had.
Yeah.
Than the one that's, providing a subpar product.
I would never provide a subpar product. No.
It saps your enjoyment for the work.
Saps your enjoyment for the work.
Yeah. No one ends up better off because of it.
But that's why I do weddings. That's why I push weddings so hard, because I love them. You go to the job, they're amazing, but they're a hard clientele to book. You need to sell the service really strong. You need to be established in the scene, and that side of it's difficult.
Totally.
When you're on a wedding, it's great. We have a great time, but it's how do
I often cry at weddings. Actually,
I often cry at weddings as well.
Yeah.
When I edit, you're getting emotionally invested in it.
Yeah. For me, it's often during the speeches. Like you got Dad talking about giving his little girl away. I'm like,
how good was Keenan's one for Talia, the How I Met Your Mother spin-off?
Yeah, that's cool.
That was really cool.
Unique.
Yeah. I thought that was amazing. Shout out to Keenan, man. I'm gonna pull that up. That was in my opinion the best vows I've seen. I haven't seen vows quite like that before, so that was really, really awesome. But I don't know. Pricing your work's hard. I'm struggling with it at the moment. Because when you break it down, it's not as much as you think that you're making.
I think finding your market makes a big difference. Like if you can align with a venue that attracts couples with a larger budget.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm always trying to figure out whether budget affects or indicates the type of person that you're going to deal with, and not to make any assumptions, but someone with more money, are they going to be harder to work with or more demanding or harder to please?
Yeah, I don't think it comes down to their economic status or their economic position or whatever, how much money they have. I don't think it comes down to that. No. I don't think so.
It's just the person.
I think it comes down to what they value.
Yeah,
truthfully.
Sure.
Yeah, I think people who value good work and good photography will see it and go, yeah, we want that, and we'll pay for it. And then if you have reasonable rates, I think they'll definitely just book in. And that's my opinion on how you really get out there, right? Is you do need to be cheaper right at the start to kind of break into the market. That's, inevitable.
Build your portfolio and show
what you can do. Work for, man, I think I would have done at least a year of free wedding work, to get into it, to get into it properly. Like, I showed my first wedding at 18 for $200.
Yeah, sure. Wow.
Like just crazy, slowly chipping away at it and learning and doing whatever and refining the practice and all the research. It's like, it's enormous. It's an enormous amount of time and investment to actually get good at it, and then to learn the business, and then to learn the marketing, and then to get in front of people. It's fucked. People, yeah.
Is that another question there? The fourth or fifth one up?
Ask us some questions, blokes. Jump on the questions.
There's one just now.
In area of competition, do you have time to create or film with compositions during your shoots on weddings? In area of competition, I don't quite understand the question. Do you understand?
Read it out for me one more time.
In area of composition, do you have time to create or film with compositions during your shoots on the weddings? Do you mean create like a scene and create like a setting? And
I think you're saying shot composition. And yeah, definitely. I think if you have
we do all the
a
time.
photographer that you guys have rapport, you can definitely be like, okay, this shot's working, but I need something a little bit more. Let's just back it off a bit and try and shoot on a slightly longer lens or zoom it in a bit to create this, the composition you're after. You definitely have time. I mean, some weddings, the bridal shoot is short. You might have 40 minutes or something like that. You just need amount of content.
Yeah.
Like obviously your quality is based on your technical and artistic proficiency, but you may not have the time during that to actually get your composition perfect every time.
You can't be fussed on lighting composition to that point because you're going to miss the moments. I think moment takes precedent in all, you know. That's the conversation I had with my good friend Luke Johnson. And, absolutely. In the end, I completely agree. Like, although I'm always thinking about lighting and thinking about how I'm going to use lighting to maybe enhance a moment, it ultimately always comes back down to the moment, you know. Like we're trying to find moments, or we're trying to make them, you know, encourage moments or make moments stand out through our use of composition and lighting. So I think, that's kind of my take on it, at least, you know.
Yeah.
I'm always,
On a tangent, one thing that I really want to bring into my own practice, which people don't do, is turning the photo shoot session into something active rather than just stand and pose or walk and laugh. It's like, let's find something that's unique to this couple and give them a game to play. Like, for example, one of the couples I shot last year or the year beforehand, I just remember the guy's name was Brooke. He was a baseball coach, baseball coach. So his kids were there, his wife was there. It's like, let's have a game of catch, you know what I mean? And shoot it dynamically, you know, let's actually make something that's more than just them standing there, you know? How can we
a lot of photographers do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot of photographers do that. I don't particularly shoot that way, but because it's more of a niche kind of thing, you know. Sure. But people do it. I know Charlie Octavia, James Simmons' partner, does it. She shoots in that way, where she makes it fun and exciting, and she will like play games with people. She'll do things that are kind of exciting and exhilarating and fun, and
more
you know,
physical.
Running and I don't know, you know, stuff like that. And she calls her style editorials. It's about them, it's we, us, but they got that editorial twist because it's, you know, still got the flash photography, direct flash, or you know, whatever, that European kind of vibe. So kind of tying the two together. So there's people out there doing stuff like that. I think if you can take your mind off the couples kind of engaging in the photo shoot, then you're absolutely going to get a lot kind of better quality results, because you're going to get those authentic moments. I mean, I like Chinese whispers. I play that sometimes, but then sometimes it doesn't work, you know. Sure. Sometimes, you know, I'll play games with the grooms that will work on one wedding, then the next wedding it doesn't. It's just having that adaptability and really finding people that you relate with as well. I think that's where it keeps coming back to. But to answer your question, man, Third Eye Picture, you've been sticking here a long time, buddy. Thanks for joining in and sticking through it, mate. I think definitely is. Really appreciate it. So following your rule of thirds. Okay, so I'll completely explain how I think about composition, rule of thirds on a wedding day. First tip that I'm going to drop to everyone. On your camera, enable your bloody grid line so you have the diagonals, not only the rule of thirds. Rule of thirds are great, a bit overused and can be a little bit limiting in my opinion. I edit and I kind of look at graphs that are diagonal a lot more of the time, so I can embed in my head diagonal lines and leading lines, and I think that creates more powerful photos than simple kind of 3 ways to divide a kind of image. If you can kind of start to lead viewers' eyes through lines or lighting or dimensionality, contrast, then you can create more powerful photos. I think that's how I think. So when I'm looking at like a scene and I'm thinking like, how am I going to compose it? I'm looking at the shadows, I'm looking at the subject, I'm looking at the background, I'm thinking about what aperture I'm using. All these things are going through my head, and I'll adjust where I'm positioned to kind of control how the lines are falling in the scene, and then control my aperture to kind of include what I want to include in the photo, which on a wedding is usually quite low. I'm usually around 1.2 to 1.8, sometimes 2.8 if I'm shooting on a zoom. But yeah, that's kind of my range of, that's what I do.
My answer is a complete contrast, where I want as little shit on the screen as possible. So my composition is usually based off having those things inbuilt. So like finding the leading lines in the space, or using the differences between light and shadow in the foreground and the background, or like, you know, like let's say their faces are lit but the background's dark. Fantastic. Now I can put them in that space in the background where they're going to stand out. For me to use to use something as simple as put them in 1/3 just creates images that are kind of boring, you know. But again, it's also...
So you're using light to control where the viewer's eyes directing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where I can.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. But yeah, that's what a wedding is. You're always looking for the moment, making sure the moment's good. But then you're also look, like that's what I do. And so if I also ask you, because like Luke and I had this conversation for like 2 hours, and it's like, so we believe that what makes a good photo is you have the composition, which is your framing, your ways of kind of, you know, rule thirds, all those kind of traditional things. You have your lighting, which is your creative or controlled use of lighting, and then you have the moment. So those three things like make an image, right? If you like really think about like how and what like controls you have, those are the three. And I was like, well, yeah, I think lighting's the most important, and I probably still do think lighting's the most important. If you don't have light, you can't even have the image, you know. So, but then like if you really start to break it down, even though lighting is the most important, moment still is the first thing you're looking for, right? Because you can't have a bad moment. There's no point shooting the photo, but there's no point shooting the photo if you don't have any lighting as well. So, you know, it's like an interplay.
I think composition's the one you can throw out the window.
Composition you can throw out the window. You can break the rules
like on
there.
An angle, you can, you know, put the camera on the ground and shoot it. Like it, in some ways, that's the bit you can have fun with.
It's the bit you can have fun with.
Yeah, definitely.
You can have fun with like, you have fun with moment because, you know, you can play like games and stuff, but composition, you have more like, just like, with composition, I don't think you need to necessarily follow those rules. Like, you know, like once especially like it's an interplay when like you're thinking about an image. It's like, you know, you look at depth and, you know, lighting, and the way you would frame a photo will be dependent on the depth and the lighting. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. So it like composition is kind of like the last thing I'm adjusting. At least.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm like, oh, let's just widen it slightly to get her elbow in there. You know, like, just to show the edges of someone, or to cut them off at the knees rather than, you know, halfway through the leg or something like that.
How can you do things a little bit differently? And I'm definitely doing that a lot. Breaking the rules.
Breaking the rules is good.
Yeah.
Fuck the rules.
Fuck the rules, man. You don't want to be following the rules too strictly. So that's how I think of it, at least.
I think so. I'd say turn off the grids. James says keep them on.
Hey, man, to be honest, they're a bit of a distraction on the video cameras. Yeah. On my 5C, I don't even know if I have it on anymore. I think you have an option to turn it off. But on the photography side, I use them all the time. I kind of like use it to... because I don't have to crop my photos because I use them. I like to use the diagonals because it kind of helps me like frame my composition easier because I can like line up the corners easier. So that's what I do, at least. Okay. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Well, actually, one thing I will say composition wise is balance your fucking camera. I always have my spirit level on the screen on the camera, because as soon as it's off to an angle, like if it's just a little bit, it looks so amateur.
It looks amateur.
So amateur. If you've got it like a deliberate angle and maybe you've got like a slow shutter speed, that's going to create something quite interesting. Maybe if it's the right space. Maybe kids are running around the field, amazing. But if you have a level plane in the background, like the horizon, and it's on an... not good.
Throw up. Don't do it. That is...
and then you have to zoom in your image to fix the rotation. Now you've fucked your composition. So... keep your spirit level on.
It's actually a really useful tool. I use it all the bloody time. It's probably the most useful tool in videography. Absolutely, because you don't have as much cropping and editing flexibility. You know, you have to have your cameras down packed. I have DJ Pods coming in 4 minutes, so we need to wrap it up. I'm gonna ask one more question, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Gimbal or handheld?
Boo! I hate gimbals. Gimbals are great. Gimbals are really, really good.
He hates gimbals. Get rid of them.
So I hate the form factor. I hate this like
Yeah.
Holding a candlestick form factor. Like, yeah. I much prefer handheld because I can go wherever I want. My back doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah.
And if your back's not hurting, you can be a lot more creative.
Yeah.
But
gimbals have a real physical limitation.
Yeah.
That's the problem with
Definitely.
them. Huge. I think there's benefits. Like, I would like to use them for my couple shoots because was that a doorbell? No, just let me know if you hear it. Yeah, because I think if you can use it for like a couple shoot, you can get more. I'm not gonna say cinematic because funny.
James loves the word cinematic.
My level of cinema is a lot lower than Mike.
Well, no, I guess it's, to me, the reason I bristle at that word is because there
So
is
you work
no
on
one
$1 million
definition.
sets.
Oh yeah, well, there's no one
I work
definition
on weddings
of cinema.
and headshots and corporate video production videos with $30,000 of gear. Oh, it's funny.
I think there's different definitions of cinematic.
Yeah. There is. Look, I'm going to use the word fluid. I really like those fluid walking shots you can get on the gimbal. You know, that's what I like about them. So but it's like, is it worth the time to set it up, put your camera on it, unrig, rather than just having a rig and just, you know.
I'll show you a photo in a minute, but when I get a little bit of spare pocket money, I want to build the rig that they used on The Creator, which is a movie that was shot on the FX3, same camera that I shoot on. And they put it on a gimbal, and instead of having it in candlestick, they put it in torchlight mode, removed the handle and attached a V-Lock battery adapter to it and put handles on it and top handle. So it's a standard horizontal camera rig that's stabilized with 3-axis stabilization.
Wow, that's incredible.
It looks unreal. It's not that big. You can even extend it a little bit so it's a shoulder rig.
Yeah.
But to me, I like small form factor, extra stabilization. I can get it low, I can get it high, I can go wherever.
That's the thing with handheld, and I think rigging especially. I think personally, like, I think there's a certain amount of, like, if you're going to use a gimbal, it needs to be intentional. Don't just run around a whole wedding with a gimbal. You're not going to get anything benefit from that. You know, maybe for like a first dance, if you want to get those fluid static shots handheld and not use a tripod, which I can see the benefits, but realistically, I think for an entire wedding day, you're going to get a far more diversified amount of work if you go handheld with a good rig it out, right? You know, balance the camera. I think that's something that, you know, that's why I liked my gimbal so much, was because I literally just was using the bodies, you know, holding it. But when you start to rig it, you know, you put the rods on, you put the battery on, you get weight to it, you can hold it better, and you can, you know, chuck it up in your shoulder. I've pretty much copied Michael's rig now, minus the Sony top handle, where I rig it out and I have a battery grip on the back like he does, because you chuck it into your armpit and it's fucking genius. Yeah, you know, you're like, because you stabilize with your whole arm, and then all of a sudden you can so, you know, that's what I prefer to do on a wedding. Look, I'll still always take a gimbal if I was to do like movement shots, but the question is, do you have the time? And usually on a wedding, the answer is no, when you're squished into an 8-hour day.
And maybe that comes into the conversation of flexibility and lack of control from beforehand. Is like short window of time. How do you have time to set up your composition, get all your moody shots, and that is like, make sure your gear's solid.
Make sure you know your gear as well. Don't be an amateur.
Yeah.
Learn it like the back of your bloody hand.
Yeah. If you need to switch between Ronin and handheld all the time, you're losing 5 minutes
time
every time.
And that's valuable time where you need it.
And the couple's getting in their heads, or they're getting out of their honey boo boo zone.
Yep. Yeah. You don't want to bring them out of that lovebird mode. You want to keep them in that. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, you're gonna break the flow. Don't break the flow. If you're gonna use a gimbal, have an assistant. Get them to rig up for you, and then get them to get the shots. You know, have a second person on site, because I wouldn't do it on my own.
It's like, as a photographer, you got 2 bodies on you.
Photography,
so you
have
don't
2
have
bodies
to swap
on.
lenses all the time.
So you do like video, but then it's just like the transportation of gear and the whole line just keeps expanding and going on. And I don't think it's a situation you can win. And then the final thing about a gimbal is you're going to shred your arms. Like, do you want to be in the industry for a long time or a short time? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be walking around crippled because I held a 10-kilogram rig all day.
I think for me, like, I have back issues, so my back is the bit that I'm most worried about.
You need a monitor, mate. Oh, it's good. Shinobi. Yeah, they're good. But yeah, you always need more gear. Far out. So that's the hard thing about it. But we should wrap it up, man, because I got my good friend DJ Pods coming over to catch up. So guys, we have viewers in here at the moment, 4 or 5 viewers. Thank you all so much for hanging in there, watching it. Mark and I are probably going to do these regularly. What do you reckon? Yeah, let's do them. We're going to do them regularly. It's fun as.
Yeah, if you have questions, email them through, text them to James on Instagram.
Bloody send us a message on Instagram. Let us know your questions, please.
Please.
So we don't have to do it. We're busy enough.
No, we've got plenty to talk about.
No, seriously, guys. Look, I do this because I really enjoy it. Podcasting's been awesome. You know, you interact with these bloody guys. It's really, really cool. So yeah, that's why we do it. So look, we're always big on bringing value to people. So yeah, let us know if there's any topics you want us to cover. We will go into it, and we will cover it on the next episode that we do together. So ladies and gentlemen, that was Michael Sgro from Solfilms. Go check out his Instagram. We will have a photo on my story linking back to it. Peace out for now, and episode will be on YouTube. And like always, this episode is supported by Rode. Check their gear out. It's phenomenal. I use all of Rode's gear. I link it up to my cameras on weddings. Hasn't failed me yet. So yeah, I love their stuff, and considering that I shoot bloody one wedding a week and edit all this stuff and it hasn't failed, is pretty extraordinary. So hats off to them, and go check out what they do. All right, everyone, peace out. We're gonna play the outro song, and we are gonna bounce.
Love you, bye.
Love ya. Peace.